There's a reason this video didn't appear earlier, and a reason it couldn't appear later. It had to meet you right here, in this exact emotional state, with this exact mindset, in this exact version of your timeline. Because what's happening right now is not normal. It's not algorithm. It's not coincidence. It's a signal from the version of you who has already crossed the threshold you've been trying to reach. Your future self, the one who's healed, the one who's aligned, the one who's already living the life you keep feeling in your intuition, has just sent a ripple backward in time, and you're feeling the echo of it right now. If you pay attention, your body already knows something shifted. Your breathing is slightly deeper, your awareness is sharper. There's a subtle stillness in your chest, as if the universe pressed its finger against the timeline and said, "Now, this is the moment when two versions of you begin to overlap for a few seconds. The version you're becoming, and the version you've been. This overlap is rare, powerful, and unmistakable. It feels like clarity without explanation, like a truth you didn't learn. You suddenly remembered, because your future self isn't trying to convince you. They're trying to wake you. They're showing you that the path ahead is not something you have to figure out step by step. You're not here to chase alignment. You're here to receive the timeline that is already complete. Right now, reality is doing something you can't see with your eyes, but you can feel in your nervous system. Your future is collapsing into your present. The identity you're meant to grow into is gently overriding the identity you've been surviving with. You may even sense a strange mix of emotions, a pull forward, a softness in the mind, a quietness inside you. That's not empty. It's preparing space. This is what quantum alignment feels like at the start. Not fireworks, not overwhelming signs, but a subtle inner knowing that something in you just clicked, even if you can't explain it yet. And here's the truth most people never realize. Your future self can only reach you when you stop running in circles, and for one small moment, you become still enough to hear the signal. You became still. That's why this message reached you. That's why this moment is activated. That's why your timeline just shifted. This is not the universe testing you. This is the universe upgrading you. If you can feel this, even slightly, seal this moment into your field by commenting, "I feel the shift." It tells your future self, "I received the signal. I'm aligning." Take a slow breath, because if part 1 revealed the signal, part 2 reveals what that signal is doing inside you right now and why nothing feels the same anymore. There's a reason your energy has been shifting in ways you can't fully explain. You've been feeling moments of clarity that appear out of nowhere, strange waves of calm in situations where you used to panic, a sense of distance from your old patterns, like you're watching someone else live them. These aren't mood swings. These aren't coincidences. These are the first internal signs that a new timeline is integrating into your body, your mind, and your field. Because when your future self sends a signal back to you, it doesn't speak in words. It speaks in pulls. It speaks in shifts. It speaks in energetic gravity, drawing you toward choices, thoughts, and feelings that match the reality where you've already evolved. And right now, that gravity is increasing. Think about it. Why do you suddenly feel disconnected from certain habits, people, distractions? Why do old cycles feel heavier, harder to maintain? Why does your intuition feel louder, more precise, almost impatient? Because your present identity is no longer the dominant frequency. The version of you who has already broken through, already healed, already succeeded, already transformed, is pulling your consciousness into alignment, and you can feel it. It's the moment when your mind tries to worry, but something inside you refuses. It's the moment when an old fear rises, but it doesn't grip the way it used to. It's the moment when you feel strangely guided, like life is shifting its furniture around you. This is what alignment actually feels like in real time. Not fireworks, not dramatic signs, not angels bursting through the ceiling, but subtle, undeniable rearrangements inside you. Almost like your nervous system is choosing a different script. Almost like your emotions are rerouting themselves. Almost like your consciousness knows a secret your mind hasn't caught up to yet. And here's the part most people never realize. You don't chase alignment. Alignment absorbs you. When your future self has already reached a higher timeline, the present version of you begins dissolving anything that doesn't match it. Not because you're forcing change, but because the new reality is already broadcasting stronger than the old one. This is why you're more sensitive to energy lately. This is why you feel tired around certain environments. This is why your body rejects chaos faster. This is why you can't pretend anymore. You're not losing interest in your old life. You're outgrowing the frequency that created it. And the most powerful sign of alignment is this: your choices feel cleaner. Your truth feels louder. Your energy feels wiser than your thoughts. That's not intuition. That's memory. That's your future self reminding you who you already became. So before we go any deeper, I want you to anchor this. You're not becoming aligned. You're remembering alignment. You're stepping into a frequency where you already succeeded. If this resonates with what you've been feeling lately, even if you can't logically explain it, comment below. I can feel the shift happening, and let your future self see that you're receiving the signal. There is a moment, quiet, subtle, almost invisible, when alignment locks in. Not when you meditate, not when you journal, not when you repeat affirmations. It locks in the very second your internal reality becomes stronger than your external circumstances. You felt glimpses of this before, moments where something inside you felt done, even though nothing outside had changed yet. A strange certainty, a quiet knowing, a shift so small you almost dismissed it. That moment, that was alignment, because alignment doesn't arrive with drama. It arrives with certainty. It's the feeling when your old self tries to worry, but the thought falls flat. It's the moment your mind tries to doubt, but your body doesn't follow. It's the moment your fear tries to rise, but something inside stands unshakable. When alignment locks in, the old timeline loses its authority. Your energy stops negotiating with it. Your consciousness stops feeding it. Your identity stops believing it. And here's the truth hardly anyone understands. Alignment isn't something you chase. It's something you allow. When your future self collapses a timeline back into your present moment, your job isn't to create the shift. Your job is simply to stop resisting the upgrade that has already happened. Think about it. Why do your old patterns suddenly feel empty? Why does overthinking feel heavier than before? Why does your intuition feel clearer than your logic? Because alignment has already taken place. You're just now becoming aware of it. This is why life has been showing you signs. Repeated numbers, synchronicities, unexpected clarity, feeling emotionally detached from old identities, random waves of peace. These are not signs that alignment is coming. These are signs that alignment is already inside you. The moment alignment locks in, your energy begins reorganizing your reality silently, efficiently, relentlessly. Your relationships shift, your opportunities shift, your self-talk shifts, your boundaries shift, your confidence shifts. It feels like you're not trying anymore, like life is simply moving around you. That's because your field, not your effort, is doing the work. When alignment locks in, you begin to feel less attracted to chaos, more drawn to stillness, less reactive to negativity, more magnetically pulled by purpose, less concerned with who you were, more committed to who you're becoming. You don't force this change. You recognize it, because the moment you recognize it, the shift accelerates. And here's the deepest truth of this entire part. Alignment locks in the moment your future self becomes more real to you than your past. When the pull forward becomes stronger than the weight behind you, when the new identity becomes more familiar than the old one, when your inner world becomes the dominant frequency, the one reality has no choice but to match. So, before you move forward, I want you to acknowledge this moment. You are not hoping for alignment. You are standing inside it. If this part resonated, if you felt these internal shifts without knowing why, comment below. I feel the alignment locking in. There comes a point in every quantum shift where the old frequency can no longer survive in your field. Not because you fought it, not because you healed every wound, not because you solved every problem, but because your energy simply outgrew the vibration that once held you. When your future self collapses a higher timeline into your present moment, the old frequency doesn't need to be destroyed, it simply becomes irrelevant. This is the exact moment you're in. And here's what most people misunderstand. Old patterns don't dissolve when you finally fix yourself. They dissolve when they no longer match the identity you're stepping into. Your old frequency was built from habitual fear, emotional survival, limiting interpretations of the past, stories you inherited, not consciously chose, energetic agreements you made unconsciously, versions of you that were doing their best but operating from lack about. But when alignment begins to settle into your field, something radical happens. You stop resonating with the vibration that created those patterns. This is why the old identity feels distant now. This is why old worries feel dull, like echoes instead of realities. This is why habits that once controlled you now feel unfamiliar. You're not failing to relate to your past. You're evolving out of the frequency that required it. Dissolving the old frequency is not a fight. It's a disengagement. Your energy withdraws from the past. Your attention no longer feeds outdated timelines. Your nervous system stops rehearsing old emotional responses. Your mind stops looping stories that no longer serve your expansion. It feels like this. You try to think an old thought, and it doesn't stick. You try to react the old way, and it doesn't feel right. You try to step into your old identity, and it feels too small for you now. This is why the collapse of a lower timeline often feels like relief disguised as confusion. Because you're not losing your old self. You're shedding the frequency that never matched who you truly were. And here is the deeper quantum truth. Old frequencies dissolve the moment your energy stops consenting to them. No ritual, no chase, no battle. Just one internal decision. I no longer vibrate there. Is no the teachers. When that decision happens, even silently resonance breaks. It's the same way a radio stops playing static once you tune to a different station. The static doesn't have to be fixed. You simply stopped aligning with it. That's exactly what's happening within you right now. You're no longer tuned to the frequency of doubting yourself, the frequency of chasing validation, the frequency of lack known, the frequency of emotional survival, the frequency of unworthiness. Instead, you're stepping into a higher energetic architecture where those patterns can't anchor. Your body feels it. Your intuition knows it. Your field confirms it. This is why you've been feeling lighter, clearer, and strangely detached from old emotional triggers. Not because you became numb, but because you became aligned. When the old frequency dissolves, life rearranges itself with precision. People shift, opportunities shift, boundaries shift, desires shift, vision shifts. Everything recalibrates to match the new state you're embodying. This is not the destruction of your past. It's the upgrade of your present. So, pause here, not to force a change, but to recognize the change that has already begun. There is a moment in every quantum shift where the new timeline is no longer a possibility. It becomes a location your consciousness has already moved into. You're in that moment now. Your future self didn't just reach you. Your future self pulled you forward. This is the point where the quantum field stops feeling theoretical and starts feeling mechanical. Like gears clicking into place, like invisible architecture shaping itself around you, like life is silently rearranging everything to match the version of you that already arrived. The activated timeline isn't something you step into. It's something you recognize because the resonance feels unmistakably familiar. It feels like coming home. It feels like, of course, this is my life now. It feels like the reality your soul always knew was yours. And here's the most important truth. You don't enter an activated timeline through action. You enter it through identity. The moment your identity shifts, the moment you stop acting like the old you, the moment you no longer negotiate with doubts, the timeline locks into place. Every quantum leap has that click point. And if you're watching this right now, you're inside it. Let's break down what you're actually experiencing. 1. Your energy is no longer reaching backward. You're not trying to fix the past. You're not trying to re-enter old stories. You're not trying to make sense of old patterns. It's like a door behind you quietly closed, not with force, but with inevitability. 2. Your intuition feels louder than your fears. Not because fear disappeared, but because your new identity isn't built around fear anymore. You don't make decisions the same way now. You don't feel pulled by doubts. Your inner compass is leading, not reacting. 3. Synchronicity becomes the new normal. Little alignments, unexpected clarity, People reaching out at the perfect time. Signs appearing in the exact moment you need them. This is the signature of timeline activation. Reality begins mirroring the identity you've stepped into. 4. You feel a gentle, unexplainable certainty. Not hype, not adrenaline, not overstimulation. Just an anchored knowing, I'm finally where I was meant to be. And that's what entering your activated timeline truly is. Not the beginning, but the confirmation. Because your future self already built this. You're just aligning with the version who lives it. Think of it this way. Your desired reality has always existed as a completed frequency. The question was never, how do I reach it? The real question was, when will I become the version who can stand inside it? You've become that version. That's why your thoughts feel clearer. That's why confusion is fading. That's why you're sensing momentum before it physically shows up. That's why you feel a strange mix of calm and anticipation. Because the shift already happened energetically, and the physical world is simply catching up. Your activated timeline is not fragile. It's not temporary. It's not something you need to hold tightly. It's self-sustaining because your identity now matches it. From this point forward, the question is not, what should I do? The real question is, what actions naturally flow from the version of me who already arrived? Because in an activated timeline, you don't chase, you attract, you don't force, you align, you don't hope, you embody. Pause here, feel it, not with your mind, but with your field. There comes a moment in every quantum shift when you no longer feel like you're becoming the new version of yourself. You feel like you are that version. Right now, you're standing in that moment. This is where the inner transformation becomes irreversible, where the identity shift stops being a practice and becomes your default state, where the old version of you feels distant, almost unfamiliar, like a dream you woke up from and can no longer fully remember. Becoming the version who already arrived is not about imagining your future self. It's about recognizing that your future self is simply your unrestricted self, the one without hesitation, the one without fear, the one without the residue of old timelines weighing them down. And as you move through this, 3 profound things begin to happen. 1. Your choices change without effort. You're not forcing new habits. You're not convincing yourself to do what's right. Your behavior naturally shifts because your identity has shifted first. The version of you who already arrived doesn't negotiate with procrastination, doesn't apologize for wanting more, doesn't shrink to keep others comfortable, doesn't abandon themselves just to be understood. This new identity operates from clarity, not conflict. You don't ask, can I do this? You ask, what aligns with who I am now? 2. You stop needing external validation. The old you needed proof. The old you needed reassurance. The old you waited for signs before moving. But the version of you who already arrived, they move first, knowing reality will follow. This doesn't come from ego. It comes from resonance, from feeling the truth of your path in your body long before the world reflects it. You're no longer building confidence. You're remembering it. 3. Your frequency becomes magnetic, not because you're trying to manifest anything, but because your energy is finally clean. No contradictions, no cross signals. No, I want it, but I doubt it. You're no longer asking the universe for something. You're matching it. People can sense this shift before you say a word. Your presence feels different. Your aura feels steadier. Your voice carries more weight. Your eyes show more certainty, because you're no longer living in the gap between who you were and who you're becoming. You're living as the one who already arrived. This stage is important because most people never reach it. They get stuck oscillating, 1 foot in the new identity, 1 foot dragging in the past. But you're not oscillating, you're merging. You're no longer trying to align. You are aligned. And that's why your energy feels so strangely calm right now. Not excited, not anxious, just calibrated, synced, clear. This calm is not emptiness. It's stability. It's coherence. It's the vibration of a timeline that has locked into place. From here forward, your actions will feel natural. Your intuition will feel louder. Your path will feel straighter. Your decisions will feel cleaner. Because you're moving from embodiment, not effort. You're not acting like your higher self. You're acting as your higher self. Let that settle. Let that identity click in your system. Let it reshape the way you walk into every moment from this point. Pause. Breathe. Feel the version of you who already arrived, taking over. There is no return to the old frequency. It no longer fits you. If you feel this shift landing in your body right now, anchor it by commenting, "I am the one who already arrived." And now, you've reached the point where most people never arrive. The point where awareness becomes choice, and choice becomes identity. Listen closely. There is a moment, a single moment, where your frequency stops reacting to life and starts shaping it. A moment where you no longer chase alignment. You broadcast it. You become the signal, not the seeker. This is that moment, because now you've understood something deeper. You're not fixing your life. You're tuning it. You're not asking reality to change. You're stepping into the version of you where it already has. Hold that truth. Feel that shift in your chest right now, like a subtle pull, a quiet expansion, a certainty without words. That's the quantum field responding. You're not imagining it. You're remembering it. If you've made it here, you're not the average viewer. The people who click away never feel this moment. But you stayed. You listened. You allowed the message to rewrite something inside you. That means one thing. You're entering the next version of yourself. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. Every shift that happens after this video won't be luck or coincidence. It will be the field rearranging itself around the identity you just stepped into. Remember that. I walk in the reality where it's already done. My vibration leads my life. I am aligned, chosen, guided, and supported. I do not chase, I attract by identity. Everything meant for me is already mine. Take one breath in, slow, deep, hold it. Now release, gently, and feel the shift settle in your body. This is your activation. If this message unlocked something in you, then you already know what to do. Subscribe, not because I'm asking, but because you felt the alignment. Because you know this is the space where your next level begins. And share this with just one person whose frequency is ready to rise with you. Not everyone will understand it, but the ones who do will thank you later. This is your moment. Welcome to your next reality.